My dear student, today we shall continue with the chapter 6, that is about the metamorphic rocks. Now in my last class I already discussed that about the two types of rocks. Already I discussed it about what is the first one, that is the igneous rocks, and the second one is the sedimentary rocks. Now today I am going to discuss about the third type of rocks. What is the name? The name is the metamorphic rocks. Now what is the metamorphic rocks that we first to discuss? That we know that when the sedimentary rocks or the igneous rocks, they have to remain inside the soil for the long period of time, and inside the soil we know that we get the high amount of temperature and the pressure. So these things, that this high amount of temperature and for this pressure, that those are the sedimentary and igneous rocks, they change their characteristics and they form a new composition based than other rocks. This rocks is known by the metamorphic rocks. So again I repeat it, when the igneous and sedimentary rocks are stay inside the soil for the long period of time, and they get the huge amount of the temperature and pressure from the inside the soil, and they convert into the new characteristics based rock. This rock is known by the name of metamorphic rocks. Clear? Now the question is, how this metamorphic rocks is formed? The main two factors is being responsible for the formation of this metamorphic rocks. What are the two factors? The first one is the temperature and the second one is the pressure. Now where we know that inside the soil they have the different layer. So for this different layer they have get the huge amount of pressure, and also from inside the soil they remain the more amount of temperature, the huge temperature also they will get. So due to this high temperature and pressure, when the rocks it convert into the another type, or those are the sedimentary or the igneous rocks, when it convert into the another characteristics based new rocks, this rock known by the name of metamorphic rocks. Now today we discuss about the different types of the metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks are divided into the two parts. The first is the thermal metamorphism and the second one is the dynamic metamorphism. What is the thermal metamorphism? That when those are the metamorphic rocks, they have to form due to the huge temperature inside the earth's surface. This type the process of the formation of the metamorphic rocks is known as the thermal metamorphism. So what is the thermal metamorphism? That those are the metamorphic rocks are made or built inside the soil due to the huge amount of temperature from the soil or inside the soil surface or the earth surface. This process of the metamorphism is known as the thermal metamorphism. So by this process only the metamorphic rocks is made due to the temperature. Now here is the dynamic metamorphism. That when those are the metamorphic rocks are made inside the soil due to the high amount of pressure or due to the huge amount of pressure, this type of the metamorphism is known by the name of dynamic metamorphism. Again I repeat, what is the thermal metamorphism and the dynamic metamorphism? Those are the metamorphic rocks or the metamorphic rocks are made due to the high temperature inside the soil, and due to this process those are the metamorphic rocks this process is known as the thermal metamorphism. And what is the dynamic metamorphism? That when due to the huge amount of pressure from the inside the earth's surface, those are the process or the metamorphic rocks are formed by which process of metamorphism, that is known by the name of dynamic metamorphism. Okay. Now here we have to discuss about what are the characteristics of the metamorphic rocks. Now what are the characteristics? The first is metamorphic rocks are generally more compact, harder than the original rocks. That the metamorphic rocks is much harder and the more compact than the sedimentary or the igneous rocks because it's the modified. And the second, they maybe have layer but it's highly compressed. They maybe have layer but it's very thick and strong also. Third, most of the metamorphic rocks are impermeable or the non-porous. Non-porous means on those rocks are not capable or useful for the passing water. This type of the rocks are known as the non-porous rock. So metamorphic rocks also is the non-porous rock from where the water does not able to pass through. And the next is these rocks do not have the fossils, any animals or plants. or in this metamorphic rocks, they doesn't have any fossils and does not found any plants or animals fossils. And these rocks have a high specific gravity, or these rocks, they have the very high specific gravity inside on it. And also the rocks are associated with the valuable minerals like the gold, silver. So those are the gold, silver, diamond that we get inside from the soil. That is one of the type of the metamorphic rocks. And due to the metamorphism only, this type of things or the valuable precious stones is being found. And those are the gems like the diamonds also found by the metamorphic rocks only. And the process of metamorphism, it takes more time. It's not that within one day it will occur. It takes that huge time. So these are the different characteristics of the metamorphic rocks. So you understand that? So metamorphic rocks, they are huge substance. They are very solid substance. Metamorphic rocks, they have layer, but it's a very strict. On the metamorphic rocks, they are solid. The strength is more than the igneous and the sedimentary rocks. No single the fossils are being found of the animals and plants in the metamorphic rocks, and the others in the metamorphic rocks, they have the high specific gravity, and it takes more time to formation of the metamorphism. And those are the precious stones like the gold, silver, or the diamond that are found in the metamorphic rocks only. So by the process of metamorphism. So I hope you have to understand that about the metamorphic rocks and what are the types and their characteristics. Okay. So today I have teacher. In my next class, I will discuss the remaining portion of this chapter. Thank you.